Hi everyone, come on in, say hi when you're here. Let me know if you are on replay. On the fastest weekend, it is Sunday, April 12th. Crazy. Comment below if you found last week's energy is getting lighter. We're getting there. It's happening. That heaviness that March brought in, although very challenging to move through, so impactful. So impactful. If you haven't already, take time to sit and reflect and journal on the shadows that March brought in, because being able to take the lesson and to release it is what is bringing the abundance and prosperity that April has. And so if you're still finding things a bit heavy, there is a lesson in the heaviness. And so taking time to slow down, to reflect, to journal would be super helpful. Hi, Isabel. Hey, Steph. All right, let's get into this weekly. Oh, they're all flying. Get into this weekly guidance. See what's going on. Hard to believe. Like this is a really fast month as well. Like to think that we're going from the 12th to the 18th. Hi, Heather. Let's see. Oh, and don't forget, I do have my Messengers from Spirit Shed Camp in 2 weeks from today. So if you're in that area or you know somebody in that area, there's still plenty of tickets available. Tag them, share the post, share my page. Would be super grateful for that. So let's see what is in store for this week. Like I said, it's from April 12th to the 18th. And if you're new to me, hi, I'm Angela McClellan. I'm a psychic medium, and I really love sharing guidance on helping us be human because it is so hard. And so every Sunday I hop on to bring through guidance of what we need to know over the next 7 days that's going to help us learn and move forward our life in the ways that we are meant to. So let's jump really into what the guides want to say. And I feel like this is reflective of what I was just saying about if you are still finding that March heaviness is lingering, if you're one of the many, I guess I should say, that is still feeling that bit of that heaviness, there's a lesson in the heaviness. March shadow work has really brought everything to the forefront so that we're able to recognize it and release it. To welcome in that lightness, okay? Here is the unwilling or uncertainty around that. Being unable or unwilling to make a change, to make a decision. And you really do, healing and choosing different for you is a conscious choice. If you are living a life that you don't want to be living, or there's aspects of your life, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your health, whether it's your physical body, whether it is your level of happiness, you have to choose differently, okay? And so this is weird. They're like, look, it's right there. There's respite. There's the end of challenging times. It's right there. But you have to make the decision. Okay, it is a conscious decision. I think that we as humans, we kind of have this assumption that things just come to some people and some people are just luckier than others. We are all equally valuable. We are all equally lucky. We are all equally responsible for our lives. Okay. And so if you think that somebody just naturally has these things, I put money on it that they work towards it or they make decisions in alignment with it. Okay. So changing that mindset is going to then help bring in, again, the answers and the solutions and the helpers are always there if you're willing to see them, if you're willing to accept them, okay? And that's exactly what's this coming in. And I really do feel like this is a bit of a splinter week, meaning like we're making a conscious decision. Are we going to continue doing what we were doing? Or are we going, okay, you know what? I got to do something different. I have to bring something in differently. I'm going to get outside. I'm going to do the things that I said for 6 months I was going to do and I didn't do yet. There has to be that choice. The thing is that the universe, no matter what, will show up. You make that decision. I'm going all in. I'm doing it. The universe is like, we're right here. we're right here. If you consciously decide not doing it, why bother? Nothing good happens to me. Universe is like, I'm bringing what you're saying. I'm bringing what you're saying. So what you say will bring it in, right? So there is this need for you to make that decision. Okay. There's also a bit of, so a few things. So we're always wanting to say, listen, our life has experiences, ones that we like, ones that we don't like, right? They are all equally important here in the physical form. It's our ego that says this is a good thing and good things are rewards and this is a bad thing and bad things are punishment. When really, in truth, we are here to have experiences and they are just experiences, right? But because we love the reward and the punishment and that whole thing, we can really attach to it. And the reward isn't really a harmful belief to have, but to believe that when things don't work in your favor, is God punishing you or the universe is against you or you know what I mean, and taking that narrative and running with it, that can be very harmful. So we do want to cut that belief. We want to cut that tie. We want to release it. There is an obstacle that's coming in this week, but it's so interesting because the butterfly just really stands out and it's like, but this is either a universal lesson or it is seeing the blessings, seeing the helpers, seeing your divine team through any bump, okay? Needing to release situations with people that no longer serve you, okay? So we want to, again, make that conscious choice of choosing different. And I really feel like this is a week that's very much of a pivot week. We're either going to keep flowing forward kind of rapidly right now because things are kicking up, or we're going to stay turned upstream and have a battle, because all of these cards are very intellectual. It is us making the choice, choosing different, okay? It's also, it would be very helpful for you to observe your body, observe your reaction mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically to receiving of news. Some of you may have already been having a reaction to me saying, this is within your control. This is within, you can make a choice here. You can choose different. You can do something different. And you can be grumbling at me. You could be saying, well, I did and I tried and it didn't work. The time things were not in alignment, that was making things easy when we made these decisions. So if you have tried within the last 5 years and failed, things are different now. I would try again and watch how different the flow and the universal support is. That's number one. Number two, there is a resistance to information. So that's either from this video, this could be guidance, maybe we're receiving information this week and we're having a very visceral reaction. Your body is reacting. And so pay attention to what your body is telling you, whether this is going out on a date with someone, whether this is having a meeting with your boss, whether this is seeing your doctor, whether this is having a conversation with the principal of the school, whatever this is, okay? It's really interesting. And again, there needs to be a shift and a change. So maybe we are expecting the worst. Maybe we're taking past experiences into this present experience. And so this is bringing in a learning opportunity. Be the observer, okay? You want different, we have to behave different. We have to think different. We have to do different. Okay. And so in a lot of this isn't even, you have to decide to do it and then you have to learn it and you have to do it. You have to do it every day. It's more realize, bring your awareness to how you're working against yourself and then just stop doing that. Cause that's really the vibe. It's not this energy is not about taking on more. It's about releasing unrealistic expectations, limiting beliefs that no longer serve you, releasing any unnecessary stress that you put upon yourself. It's more about releasing it instead of trying to be more perfect or trying to be more spiritual or trying to be more punctual. It's more about releasing to allow. Okay. And I think that being that observer this week is you're really going to realize just how much you are still in fight or flight, how much pressure you're putting upon yourself unnecessarily. Okay? There's that ego card. Okay. There is something that you're really wanting to come in. We're wanting it, we're manifesting it. We don't think we're going to get it, but then there it is. Okay? So again, the ego card's coming out. The ego card is like where you're in a battle. And it's not even so much a battle. It can be directed at someone else. Ego loves to point fingers. The finger should always be pointed within, because the only person who has the power to change your story is you. It's your story. You're literally the author, right? And so when we are distracting ourselves with them, right? Whether it's within the waiting game, as in, well, I'll have time for myself when the kids are older, or I'll have time for myself, well, I'll do that, but I'll wait till I'm retired. And, you know, there's this waiting game, or, you know, I'll do this when the bills are paid. Like, there's always this kind of, we put it off. There's this need, or we go, well, I can't because of you, and I can't because of them, and I can't because of who's in office, and I can't because, right? And it's like, you can make a change. You can figure out what it is that you want, and you can start one step at a time, or you can figure out how to give that version to yourself, right? There's always a way. There's always a solution. You have to look for it. You have to be willing to make changes. You have to be willing to make compromises, but there's always a solution. Okay. So the ego is quite literally taking the chains off yourself. So again, remember how the previous cards were saying, listen, you have to observe the choices that you're making, the dialogue that you're saying. How is that affecting your life? How is that is that helping you take those steps forward? Right? Or is it actually the opposite of what you're wanting? Right? And the ego loves to plant seeds of doubt, loves to plant fear, loves to point fingers, loves the blame game, right? That voice in your head. What's so powerful about that voice in your head is that you're not that voice. You're not that voice. You're the soul behind that voice. You're the soul that is hearing that voice. So you can choose to not believe it. You're not creating it. It's just a narration that has accumulated from other people's conditioning, society, medias, etc. Okay? And so you can go, oh, not true, not listening to that, right? Choosing something different, la, 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 right? These are things that we can do when you understand that, okay? There's the moon card. It's all about your intuitive self. So whenever we go doubt and fear, go, nope. Another really great trick, I mean, you can do, there's two ways. I know you can go stop, cancel, delete. That thought, stop, cancel, delete, letting it go, right? My friend just shared one with me yesterday. Let me think of it. Something like, not true, not real, not believing it, right? Is something that you can say to yourself, and it's associated with sound. So not true, not real, not believing it is something that you can do, or a version of that. But you know what I mean? It's like we're recognizing it. We're going, nope, I'm not going to believe that, because that's why the ego self has power. That's why it has, because we identify as it. Like, we think that we are creating this, and this is what we believe about ourselves, or the situations or circumstances, and it's almost always not. And then also we think, that we identify as it. We are the soul witnessing that voice. We don't have to listen to it if it's full of BS, right? So being able to catch it and then release it. This is all about connecting back with your soul self, making time to sit with yourself. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, too much media, too much social media, too much other people's stuff in your head. Okay, there's very much this need to kind of like get back. Let's go back to the 90s, right? Let's go back before we all had devices that in our hands at all times. We can start with small steps. Don't take the phone to the bathroom. When you're driving to work, no audiobooks, no calling people. Sit with yourself. Pay attention to what you're seeing, sensing, and feeling. Make time for yourself. Go for a walk, right? And so it's almost wanting to get back to these more simplistic daily experiences that is then going to bring you more in connection with yourself. And then you'll go, oh yeah, this is what I believe. This is what I want. This is what I feel. Okay. And this is how your prayers are answered. This is how your dreams come true. This is how you create what it is that you want. Okay. And so this is something that is going to come in, and that's going to be, this is significant enough that it's going to change the way that you're thinking. Okay. We are still very much in scarcity mindset since the pandemic. We're making lots of strides to try to get back to normalizing, but we're really just not there, right? This is really going to come in and you're going to be like, there it is. Got it. Got it. And it's going to be significant enough for you to be like, oh, I'm not going to go back to that darkness. Or I'm not going to go back to that overwhelm, or I'm not going to go back to that consumption, or I'm not going to go back to those decisions, right? Whatever that is, because it's like the light clicked. The light bulb clicked. We made it. We connected. And this is really going to set the tone moving forward. This is an experience that is coming in as a blessing. It's coming in as an answer prayer. It's coming in as trustworthy. It's coming in as high integrity. So some of you, this could be internal. Some of you, this is external. It could be relationships. It could be jobs. It could be catching a break. It could be a little financial abundance, whatever it is, but it's renewing your faith, not only within yourself, but with the outer world, which is very significant at this time. Okay. April is zooming, right? It's a fast month. So continue to make time to connect with yourself. Continue to make time with asking yourself, how do I feel about that? How do I feel about that? What are my thoughts on this? So that you're creating a foundation with yourself as you go through day-to-day life. And like I said, it's going to be May before we know it. It's going to be July before we know it. Let's be real, right? And so making time for stillness, making time for self, making time to gear down. We're talking about things that are speeding up, but that does not mean that we're hustling. That doesn't mean that we're taking on more, which means that we need to be even more protective with our time and our energy to make sure that we have that balance to that quickness. All right, I'm going to leave that with you. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll be back next Sunday with your weekly guidance.